Today is World Day of Remembrance for road traffic victims. It's commemorated on the third Sunday of November each year. It is a high-profile global event to remember the many millions who have been killed or seriously injured on the world's roads and to acknowledge the suffering of all affected victims, families, and communities. Millions of them are added each year to countless millions already suffering. This is a truly tremendous cumulative toll.
The reason for celebrating this day is firstly to commemorate the victims of traffic accidents, secondly to help the victims of the accident, and thirdly to reduce traffic accidents.
This day has also become an important tool for governments and all those whose work involves crash prevention or response to the aftermath of clashes, since it offers the opportunity to demonstrate the enormous scale and impact of road deaths and injuries, to call for an end to the often trivial and inappropriate response to road death and injury, and to advocate for more urgent concerted action to stop the carnage. On this day, we also pay tribute to the dedicated emergency crews, police and medical professionals who deal daily with the traumatic aftermath of road crashes.
There is a study done by the World Health Organization. According to the study, every year about 1.2 million people between the ages of 10 and 24 die in a road accidents worldwide, and more than 50 million people lose their health and become disabled. Therefore, we urge our citizens to have good habits to prevent traffic accidents and participate in traffic.
From 1995, road victim organizations, under the umbrella of the European Federation of Road Traffic Victims, observed this day together, first as a European Day of Remembrance, but soon as the World Day when NGOs from Africa, South America and Asia joined. 10 years later, on the 26th of October 2005, the World Day was adopted by the UN General Assembly as the appropriate acknowledgment for victims of road traffic crashes and their families. Now this World Day is commemorated across all continents, not only by NGOs advocating for road safety and road victims, but also by governments and all related and relevant stakeholders.
This day is celebrated in different countries around the world. In India, for example, there is a tradition of explaining the consequences of road accidents to citizens. In Israel, on this day, all institutions commemorate the citizens by lighting candles in the streets. In Mexico, it is not a professional organization, but students who come together and volunteer for a big show. In 2018, a demonstration was held in Mexico with more than 7,000 students. Australia is holding a peaceful demonstration on this day. In Japan, on the other hand, training in traffic skills is organized in stages by age groups.
To be convicted of drunk driving was Georgia Smith, a taxi driver in London. He was fined 25 shillings on September the 10th, 1987. Comparable to $130 at today's rate. On October the 8th, 1967, the United Kingdom passed a law to lower the permitted level of alcohol in a driver's blood.
In Mongolia, this day is celebrated as a day of strife for the 7th year in a row. This day means that if every citizen works hard and participates in traffic, not only will traffic accidents be reduced, but also lives and health will not be harmed.
In the first 10 months of 2020, the traffic police received about 35,000 calls. Of these, 30,000 calls were received in Ulaanbaatar, of which 18,000 were related to traffic accidents. There were 5,093 children involved in these traffic accidents, with 82 children were lightly or seriously injured, and 59 children dead. Of these accidents involving children, 54% were on local roads. 55.7% of the children involved in those accidents were walking, 10% were cycling, and 35% were in cars.
In the first 10 months of 2020, 18,464 traffic accidents have been registered. The accidents killed 365 people and injured 2,403. Compared to the same period of last year, the number of fatal accidents decreased by 25.8% and the number of injuries decreased by 25%.
Traffic accidents cause 19 billion Mongolian tuks in damage a year, which has a negative impact on the country's sustainable development. Therefore, in recent years, many projects and programs have been implemented to prevent traffic accidents. For example, a research has shown that regular social media safety alerts to drivers reduce the risk of accidents.
The police, in cooperation with governmental and non-governmental organizations, have regularly organized joint and partial advocacy campaigns to reduce traffic accidents. For the past 2 years, the Don't Be in a Hurry campaign has been organized to improve local traffic culture. As a result of this measure, in 2019, traffic accidents decreased by 37%. This year, however, it has declined by 27%. In the capital city, we have organized a campaign called By the Rules, Not by Choice. This means that if everyone participates in traffic according to the rules, the number of fatalities will also decrease.
The causes of traffic accidents can be classified as follows. These include driver's fault, pedestrian misconduct, road conditions, 4 other major causes, including technical failure. The majority of total traffic accidents in Mongolia occurred on remote roads in rural areas. The police warn that traffic violations and driving under the influence of alcohol are factors contributing to traffic accidents.
Considering the causes of local accidents, they can be caused by speeding, drunk driving and overtaking. The number of accidents registered in the local area is relatively small, but the damage caused by accidents is very high. In the capital, for example, 122 people died in the first 10 months and 263 people died on local roads.
According to the World Health Organization, in 2019, Mongolia ranked 75th out of 183 countries in the world in terms of road deaths per 100,000 people. And data shows that 82.5% of drivers and passengers who died in accidents on local roads were not wearing seat belts. Studies have found that people are more likely to be seriously injured when sitting in the front seat of a car, and that if seat belts are worn properly, they can protect 40 to 50% of front seat occupants and 70 to 75% of rear seat occupants.
Drivers should always wear seat belts and stay within the speed limit. Also, if you're not careful when crossing the sidewalk, a child or a drunk person may suddenly appear. I always use a seat belt. All drivers should always wear seat belts for themselves and their loved ones.
In 2013, the Ulaanbaatar City Crime Prevention Coordination Council launched the School Police Project to increase the participation of parents in the prevention of crime among the secondary school students and to assist with safe street crossing in school zones. With the implementation of the school police program, the number of children involved in traffic accidents and crime in school zones has decreased by 60 to 70%.
This is my first time as a school police officer. I do this between 1:30 and 7:30. In the past, when there was no school police, there were a lot of arguments. Parents need to take care of their children. I believe that if parents take their children to school and pick them up again, they will be safe.
If you are a pedestrian crossing the road, be careful. Drivers are also encouraged to respect pedestrians and follow traffic rules. By doing so, we can reduce the number of accidents and protect ourselves.